Welcome Dash fam, also welcome Sur Ron fam. I'm the best dasher alive, aka little sport mode. Translation, I DoorDash on a Sur Ron Light Bee, and I'm gonna break down my top 10 upgrades for comfort, not performance. I have myself put over 5,000 miles across 4 different Sur Rons, so I've spent some time on these things. I've got some pretty good tips here. Right out of the box, honestly, these things are super fun. I've been on them for a year and I haven't done a single like performance, battery, controller upgrade, none of that. Not saying that that stuff's not fun either, but they're so fun out of the box that if you're gonna spend your money on upgrades, in my opinion, especially if you're riding a lot, I'd just go for making the thing more comfortable. The seat. If you haven't seen this video, go check it out. I made $1,900 in 1 week door dashing on a Sur Ron. And in order to do that, I had to spend right around 55 hours that week sitting on this bad boy. And by the end of the week, I definitely had some saddle sores and realized I need to get a much better seat if I'm going to ride this thing as much as I have been. Now, there's not a ton of options for the seats. This one I have right here is the most comfortable one in my opinion. This is the Luna float seat made out of leather. I think it's like a little under 100 bucks, like 75 bucks or something like that. I think it's totally worth it. I've also used their fabric one, also comfortable. I just think the leather's a little bit more comfortable. And I've been on some of the other ones where the seat actually comes out and extends back here a little bit farther, but I personally don't think those add much cushion, and that's really what I wanted, was some more cushion in the seat. By the way, I'll link all of this stuff in the description of this video if you want to buy any of it for yourself. Side note, this sat in an impound yard for like a day and a half straight while it rained, and I originally had blacked out all the stitching with a Sharpie, and the rain kind of took some of that away, so I'm gonna have to touch it up a little bit, but this seat does come with white stitching, not the black. One other problem with the stock Light Bees is the handlebars sit pretty low, where you're just leaning too far forward, and especially when you're braking, especially on steeper downhills, I just really don't like the position that that puts you in and where you're rubbing on the seat. It gets really uncomfortable. So to help bring you from more of a slouch down position to more of an upright position, which places you more on the meat of your butt, I gave it new handlebars, which are taller. They're 3-inch pro taper handlebars. And then I put these handlebars, as you can see right here, inside a Warp 9 riser mount. And so you've got to have a mount to put your handlebars in. So by putting these handlebars inside of this riser mount, I get about 5 extra inches of height, which honestly makes a really nice difference. And then one little tip, when you install the handlebars, I like to roll them this way a little bit, maybe even a little bit more than what would look natural to the eye, just because that again helps me sit a little more upright and a little bit more back on the meat of my butt. The stock pegs that this bike comes with are very narrow, and again, if you're spending a lot of time on these, but even if it's not a lot of time on these, you'll notice that it's just really narrow under your foot. These are just $30 pegs off of Amazon. Like I said, I'll link everything in the description. They're similar to some other ones out there which go for a much higher price, like 70 or 100 bucks or something like that. I've put these $30 ones on 4 different bikes, and they've worked great. These pegs do also give you a little bit of extra traction on your foot, and it can also even be slightly dangerous if you're not paying attention, because it has these little metal spikes on top of it that, like, if you caught your shin or something on there, that would definitely do some damage. And then of course you have the option of putting pedals on it, which I will be doing here soon. I want to try out, see how pedals feel on a bike like this. And then also on the handlebars, we got new grips. To be completely honest, I don't mind the feel of the stock grips. I think they feel pretty nice. In fact, I would say these ones are even slightly less cushiony than the stock grips, but the stock grips are gray, and I just wanted to black this thing out, just make it a nice subtle black. These are the Pro Taper pillow grips. To be honest, I've had some other grips that are more pillowy. These, you can feel the bar pretty much right through the grip. Some people like that, some people don't. It's going to depend on what your preference is. I have right here, to make it a little bit more comfortable, these grip donuts, and these you just slip on your handlebars, you push them all the way in, and then they provide a nice cushion right there for like your index finger and your thumb, this area of your hand, to rest and bang and get beat up. And I actually double up on them. I have 2 different grips there just for extra cushion. And of course, another essential upgrade, a really good phone mount. I like this one a lot because it's very sturdy. It's very quick to get your phone in and out of. It has an additional safety lock that gives it an extra lock strength if you really need it, but most of the time, actually never do I even use that. And this is, I'm talking whether I'm door dashing, whether I'm hitting trails. your phone's not going anywhere. Let's talk Sur Ron key for a second here. When you get your Sur Ron, it'll come with 2 keys, and both keys will come on the same ring. I recommend that you take one of the keys off and go store it somewhere else for if you ever lose one of them, because if you leave them both on the same ring and you lose them, you're a little bit screwed. And then I like to store it on this little bungee bracelet thing, and I got it black so it just sits nice with the color of the bike. Now some people might call this next one a performance upgrade. It kind of is, but honestly I didn't do it for the performance side of it. I did it for the comfort side, because the original stock tires that these come with are pretty crappy. It's pretty easy to catch a thorn, have it poke through, and now you're flat. I've had that happen a couple times. Actually, the very first day I got this one, that happened to me. So I replaced both the back and the front tire here with the same size tires. These are Shinko, oh man, I forget exactly what it's called. I'll throw it up on the screen. But it's a nice combination of road and off-road. They feel nice when I'm door dashing on the street, but you can definitely take these onto some trails and really rip some trails. And they sit a little bit wider than the stock tires, and so I don't know if they necessarily help you get your wheelies up any easier, but once you're up in a wheelie, I've definitely seen that they help you balance a lot more. But like I said, mainly I just changed the tires so I wouldn't have to deal with flats. And then also as part of that, inside of here, I replaced the tubes with heavier duty motorcycle tubes. And then the last thing that I did on the front brakes and on the back brakes is I replaced the brake pads, got rid of the stock ones and put in some new Shimano brake pads. I forget the full name of them. I'll throw that up on the screen. And again, maybe a little bit of a performance upgrade right there. It does increase braking performance, but for me, that was really just to make the braking a little bit more comfortable. Oh, and then I also forgot to mention that by adding the new tires on both front and back, that also added a little bit of height to the bike. So to be completely honest, the height of this bike and how it feels when you sit on it, it feels much higher. So if you're really small or you like a really low, close, crouchy feeling to the ground, then maybe you don't want to do the stuff I just mentioned. But if you want it to have a more upright, more adult feel, bigger bike feel to it, then honestly, higher handlebars, riser mount, bigger tires, that's gonna add a bit of height. And then also the pegs actually stand a little bit higher, so that makes you feel also a little bit higher up. It's hard to actually stand up square at all and still be able to reach the handlebars, because as they sit stock, they're so far down here. So you kind of have to like ride standing up like this if you want to try ride standing up. But with these ones, you can actually get into a decent position